conventional medicine will tell you that fibromyalgia has no cure. And you may be one of 450 million people worldwide who are suffering from fibromyalgia and may even accept the fact that it's something you're going to have to learn to live with.
I'm Dr. Casey.
And I'm Dr. Morgan.
And our first response to that statement is it's actually ridiculous. No one has the right to tell someone else that they don't have the opportunity to heal. Right, even doctor to patient. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, and it happens all the time. People are being told that there's no cause and there's no cure. You're going to have to learn to live with these symptoms, and they feel shackled that they have no other options. So we're here to give you information so we can move forward from that blockage.
And the sad thing is there is a ton of evidence out there to support treatment protocols that are designed to that show that it can actually reverse your suffering.
You know, ignorance is not bliss, but most doctors are guilty of ignorance. So it's really important that you're taking your health into your own hands.
Yeah. And in most cases, conventional healthcare practitioners have the best intentions. However, they're severely limited to what they've been taught. And usually that leads a patient down a pathway into a treatment protocol which solely relies on medication. And the other thing is that your doctor, by the time they've finished their school and they've started practice, the cutting edge research on this condition will have advanced by 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast it's happening. So really the only way that doctors can stay on top of the cutting edge research is one of two things. The first would be to spend countless hours face buried in peer-reviewed research, and there is an abundance of it out there. There's a lot of great health information available. However, it can become overwhelming even for doctors. The other option would be to rely on your pharmaceutical rep. And so this person obviously is going to come around and only promote what their company is selling, which is drugs. Drugs.
Now, I know for those of you that are watching right now, that may be very frustrating to hear, and we're here to tell you that we hear you, and we're frustrated too, because when we're dealing with our patients, we're doing our consults, it's very disheartening to realize that most of our patients, before they come here, nobody's ever taken the time to teach them the truth about health and healing.
And I think that most people have done a Google search online, and there is basic information on fibromyalgia, but if you've done the search before and you go do another search, it's going to be the same old information and the same old websites, and it's going to drive you to the same old notion that there is no cause, there's no cure, and then if there is anything that's available for people, then they turn to conventional medicine. And then the next thing you know, they've become a customer to another industry making millions of dollars.
What you won't find is, and this is the biggest thing, is you won't find the why. Why are you suffering with the condition and the associated symptoms? So many of you know a lot of this. The most common symptoms of fibromyalgia, we all know that it usually includes widespread body pain, but it can also include things like digestive problems or irritable bowel syndrome,
anxiety, depression,
just stress,
numbness, tingling into the hands, arms, legs.
Some people get TMJ, joint pain, heart palpitations, morning stiffness. I mean, there are so many different symptoms that go along with the diagnosis of fibromyalgia.
I think overall, fibromyalgia would most simply be characterized as widespread musculoskeletal pain with associated symptoms. So those symptoms we listed are just some of them, and it's definitely not limited to that. And it can vary every day. You can have vary pain levels and severity day by day, and from moderate discomfort to severe disability.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was in 1986. The powers that be came up with a official criteria to diagnose fibromyalgia, and basically what the criteria was, it was a combination of widespread body pain with tenderness at 11 or more of 18 specifically identified tender points throughout the body.
And I think that people who've been doing research on fibromyalgia have come across that diagnosis, but this is something, the next 3 points is something that you need to know. So take note. The first thing is that there is not just one simple medication or treatment or supplement or pill that's going to cure fibromyalgia. So lose that notion. It's not just one treatment.
Right. And the second thing is you have to change your mindset from always looking for the next miracle treatment that's going to save you, and come to terms with the fact that you really have to learn and realize that you have to get to the underlying cause of your condition.
I think the most important point
definitely
would be that it's not, to treat fibromyalgia is not a disease-centered treatment. It's a patient-centered treatment. So in other words, if we were to take two people who don't know each other, they're both suffering from fibromyalgia and they have completely different treatments, but they both improve. And this can be because one person's fibromyalgia may be from an underlying thyroid issue, while another person's fibromyalgia might be the result of a bacterial intestinal problem.
Right. And so I hope this is starting to make sense for you. It would be counterintuitive to look at one medication or look at one supplement and expect that using that one intervention is just going to work across the board and help every person who's suffering with fibromyalgia or any other autoimmune disease for that matter. So it's actually quite illogical for you to take one specific treatment and expect that that's going to, because that helped with your fibromyalgia, that cause of your fibromyalgia may be completely different than what's causing fibromyalgia in someone in your family or a friend.
Absolutely.
That you know, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think at this point you're probably wondering, well, what caused my problem? Who's going to help me figure all of this out? And that can be really frustrating, but this is where we ask that you step up with your health. So we encourage you to figure out and learn the facts about fibromyalgia. Choose the right healthcare practitioner who's going to be on this road to healing with you. So if you have a doctor who's not willing to accept the facts about fibromyalgia, it's time to find a new one.
Yeah. And so we're going to talk more about this on our next Facebook Live videos over the next few weeks as part of this series. But before we get to the next video, I definitely want to hear from you. If you have comments, put them below. We'd love to hear about, we're a community here. So if there's something that's helped you in dealing with your fibromyalgia or symptoms associated with it, write it down. If there's something that you've tried that didn't work so well, just put it in the comments, because we are a community and all that information is going to benefit everyone.
We're in this together. We're excited. We'll meet you next week on our next Facebook Live video.